What's up guys, Andrew here with the Medellin Buzz. If you want to move to Medellin in 2024, here are the things you can do to get ready for that. Number one is getting your money right. A lot of people ask me what's a good budget to move down to Medellin with, and I always say $2,000 a month. If you've got $2,000 a month, you are doing great. You're going to be able to afford to live in a neighborhood like El Poblado or Laureles, which are safe, which are nice, that have modern apartments with amenities, etc. You don't want to come to Medellin like I did. I got here in 2010 because I was deported from the United States, 28 years old with no money, no family, no friends, and I never graduated university, so I didn't even have a college degree. So I had to grind for a few years. I got into digital marketing by just studying it on YouTube and taking free courses online, figuring out what search engine optimization is, how to build a website on WordPress, etc. And then I started to hit up small businesses in the United States. I would cold email them or cold call them sometimes using a Skype number. And then I got onto freelance platforms such as Upwork, freelancer.com, guru.com. There are a ton of them nowadays. And once I got a client, even if that client only paid me $300 for that month or for whatever that task was, I would turn around and hire someone locally that was better at whatever it is that they hired me to do, and I'd pay them $150. Slowly but surely, I started getting bigger and bigger clients. And now I've got a digital marketing agency and I have a few employees and contractors as well. The fact of the matter is that you probably already have a skill. When I got here, I didn't really have a skill that I had honed. I had to hone it while basically giving away my service. I would work for $4 an hour, sometimes $5 an hour. I was an English teacher here. I worked at call centers. I worked regular Colombian jobs at times, just to make sure that I could pay my bills and not just eat sardines and bread like I had to do when I first got here. So if you've got a $2,000 plus budget a month, you're gonna be sitting pretty in Medellin. If you don't have that yet, I suggest that you work on that before getting to Medellin. The next step is to figure out where you wanna live. There are two major neighborhoods that attract expats, and that is El Poblado and Laureles. There are other neighborhoods like Belén, Sabaneta, Envigado that do have expats, but the majority you're gonna find in those two neighborhoods. Now, what's the biggest difference between both of those? El Poblado is basically what they call like the Beverly Hills of Medellin because it's the most expensive. You're gonna have the most high-end penthouses and apartments in those buildings. So what I suggest to my friends, family, or students from the Medellin Masterclass to do when they come down here is to take those virtual tours. There are a ton of videos online that you can see for different neighborhoods, including the one that I made about El Poblado, which I'll put right here. So whatever neighborhood draws your interest, you rent an apartment. I always suggest going with Airbnb because it's the safest and the fastest, meaning that there are a lot of online agencies that do furnished rentals out here, but some of them could be scams. I've seen it time and time again where someone gets scammed off of one of those rental agencies that they found just by doing a Google search. So just to be safe, I always recommend Airbnb. Do it for a couple weeks and then get off the platform for a better price. The next thing that you can work on without even being in Medellin is to figure out what it is that you want to do in Medellin. Meaning, what are your hobbies? What are your interests? There are a ton of groups online on Facebook and on WhatsApp that cater to whatever it is that you want to do. If you like hiking, there's a group for that. If you like to play tennis, there's a group for that. If you like sewing, there's a group for that. There's basically a group for everything that you want to do. And you can even start making friends in those groups. That way, when you get here, you already have a plan to get some sort of routine, get your life going. Because if you're just coming here as a tourist and you're getting drunk every day and you're partying every day, that's one thing. But if you're looking to establish a life here, or maybe even a part-time life here, maybe 3 or 6 months out of the year, then you want to get some sort of routine going where you feel healthy, not only physically, but also your mental health. And the best way to do that is by networking and forming some sort of social group. The next big thing that you can do without even being here is to figure out your visa situation. If you're coming from the United States or a country like it and you're staying here for 6 months, you're able to do that just on a tourist stamp. But if you want to be here more than 6 months out of the year, then you got to figure out what kind of visa you want to get. And you can start doing this without even being in Medellin. Actually, it's best that you start looking into this now. And it's pretty easy to understand. If you want to buy real estate out here, you want to buy an apartment for yourself, then the real estate investor visa is probably a good option. If you want to learn Spanish, you can get the student visa. If you've got a girlfriend or a boyfriend that is Colombian and you want to get married, then that's another option for a visa there. If you're a digital nomad, you can get the digital nomad visa. Remember, all of these have different implications and different requirements, and they all have a different impact on permanent residency if that's what you want in the future. So I suggest you contact a visa attorney to figure that part out, but it's something that you can start doing right now. The best way to communicate is usually best through WhatsApp, not through email. Another thing that you can work at right now before even getting to Medellin is hiring locals here. If you want to hire locals here, you can. You can hire them as independent contractors. You can hire them as salaried employees. You could even pay them through your US corporation directly to a Colombian bank account, but you want to make sure that you're doing it all legal. The best thing to do, obviously, is to take the Medellin Masterclass, where I go over that in detail. If you don't know what the Medellin Masterclass is, make sure to click the link in the description below to get more information and or to sign up. But another way to figure this part out is to actually get into some of the Facebook groups of entrepreneurs here in Medellin, like the Medellin Entrepreneur Society, Doing Business in Medellin group, expat groups, the Expats in Medellin group, or the Gringo Paisa group. You can ask questions in those groups, and people that have businesses and that have employees here will answer that for you. Even though Colombia does have a lot of paperwork at times and a lot of bureaucracy, it's something that you can easily do even if you're not in the country. Another thing that a lot of people ask me is about dating. Can they start talking to people on these dating apps to set up dates or just to start flirting and all that? And my answer is yes, you can do that from wherever you are in the world. Would I recommend it? No, because it's just not something that I would do. I have had friends that have had success. I have friends that have gotten married to the people that they've met on those dating apps, but I just don't use it, so I don't recommend it. What I would recommend is seeking groups of those interests that you have. If you play the guitar, if you're a musician, if you like hiking, if you like to play basketball, start to get into those groups, whether it's on WhatsApp through the MDE community. You can check that out. I'm not affiliated with them, but it's a great resource to find groups for people that are doing the same things that you like to do and start making connections that way. Those people are not there just to seek a romantic partner. They're there to enjoy an activity, and obviously if organically you meet someone, usually those are the best relationships. They have been for me in my life. If you get on those dating apps and things move fast, usually it's not real. Usually they're going to try to ask you for money or gifts or something like that without even meeting. And I can't tell you how many people fall for that, and then when they get here, they never meet the person, or that person has a ton of excuses, or that person is already married to somebody else and they just trying to hustle people for money. It happens a lot. So if you're looking to move to Medellin in 2024, check out the Medellin Masterclass, where me and my team can help you relocate. Nos vemos en Medellin, parcero.